available for Thank you very much for enabling that. For those who would like to enable closed captions, it is a meeting instead of a webinar, and we wanted to really make sure that folks are engaged. So we've got some polls, we've got the chat. Feel free to type some messages of congratulations to our winners, share some reactions to really just make this virtual award ceremony a little bit more lively. I will also note that you can use the link that Ruth will soon be sharing in the chat to send congratulatory messages as well, to share selfies, gifts, all sorts of things for our winners as well to celebrate them. If you do have any tech issues through the course of the evening, feel free to message Ruth directly on the chat, and she'll be monitoring things. She's taking care of everything to make sure that our night goes smoothly behind the scenes today. So thank you so much to Ruth for doing all that. I'm curious to end our poll and share the results to see where folks are from. And interestingly, I can't see the results of what everyone said. I hope that everyone else can, but it's not showing up on my end, but that's okay. We will see where folks are from. I hope others can, because I cannot. But I'm going to stop sharing the results now. A couple other notes before we get too far into things. So we will be playing some trivia as we introduce each award recipient. And so maybe some of you have insider knowledge about our winners. Maybe some of you have really fast Googling skills and are able to Google the answers really quickly. But there will be some winners for each round, and the top 3 winners will win a special CACUSS package. I don't know the details of that, but it sounds exciting. So I hope folks are at the ready to answer those questions before we present each winner. And those will just be questions where I'll state it out loud, and you'll just use the chat function to respond to those answers. We want to note as well that we know there is so much work taking place from all of you on this call and beyond that goes unrecognized. It's so wonderful to have these nights to be able to recognize and honor the work. But we really just want to say thank you to all our nominees. Congratulations to all of the winners that we're going to announce. But I also wanted to make a special mention and sort of a reminder for us to think about, in the future, nominating folks for maybe next year's CACUSS Awards, all the different awards that exist on our various campuses. One thing that I like to share that a lot of people don't actually know about is the praise function on Microsoft Teams. So for those of you at schools who use Microsoft Teams, which is probably many of us, if you go to your channels or your group chats, there's a little button, it looks like an award under the chat if you start a new chat. And I love to share praise with my colleagues and with my peer educator team whenever there's a moment where they've really shone, and it means a lot to people. So I just want to thank CACUSS for all of the work involved in this larger celebration, and also recognize the ways that we can celebrate our colleagues and students that we work with in our day-to-day as well. But on to our welcome. I would like to invite Elder Blue Waters to share a few words with us. Blue is an active community elder working at Seneca College as an elder on campus and an Indigenous community engagement coordinator, providing traditional teachings and one-to-one counseling. Elder Blue has spent 2.5 years working for the National Inquiry for Murdered and Missing Women as grandmother to Commissioner Brian Ailson, and sits on the Grandmother Circle. Welcome to Elder Blue.
Thank you, thank you. Tanse eski nikmu natisina kasun mayingin dodem, George Gordon Adunjaba Ayakwe. So what I've told you is my name in Cree, which is Earth Song, and I'm from the Wolf Clan, and my family is from George Gordon Reserve. I am from the Beads and the Harpers. And also I am a Yahweh, which is the Cree word for neither man nor woman, so a gender diverse person. And so I'm very happy that I was given this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you and to open up this meeting in a good way. I think there's no better way than to celebrate the hard work that people do to make sure that all of our students feel welcome and included and that they feel valued. And, without all of your support, with your skills, with your encouragement, with all the hard work that you do to make sure that the students get into spaces and places that they need to be, we need to celebrate each other, right? We need to feel that we are valued, because there's so many times that we're feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes we don't have the, I guess, the authority or the availability to make things happen in large institutions. And so we have to just try our best to see what we can do to meet the needs of every student, to make them feel welcome on the many campuses in the many areas. A lot of students, especially Indigenous students and international students coming in from other spaces and places, this is the first time they're in these spots. And, they're missing their homes. They're missing the familiarity that they were growing up in and existed in. And now they're in a big place. And most of the time they don't know too many people at first, but you are the faces that they meet. You are the ones that help them feel welcomed. You are the ones that help guide them and to help shape and make sure that they're in the spaces and the places that they need to be. Because we know with young minds, we always have aspiring thoughts of, this is what we want to do. This is the profession we want to study in, and this is what we want to become. But sometimes what we want is not what we need and doesn't match up with our abilities. And so your guidance and support can really make sure that they are where they're supposed to be, that the gifts that they carry and they come with are going to be fed and nurtured, and so that they can grow and become those aspirations that they are trying to be, right? Whether it be in the arts, whether it be in social working, whether it be in childcare, whether it be in IT development, whether it be in robotics. Sometimes we think that some things are what we want, but then later we're like, oh, this is too hard. Oh, I never thought this was involved in this. I don't know if I really want to do this work. And it's expensive to go to school, right? We live in a space where we don't get things for free, right? Even Indigenous students, people think they get it for free, but no, that's depends on what funding their bands have, right? They may only have funding for 2 students and 18 maybe graduating, right? So there's only placements for 2. And so how do we support those 2 to make sure that they are successful and they move through these post-education systems to occupy spaces and places that their relatives never had an opportunity to? And so whether you're international, whether you're domestic, or whether you're Indigenous, right? These are struggles of students right across Canada, across Turtle Island, right? Down through the States, everywhere. And so our attitude, our drive to make sure that they succeed really needs to be celebrated, because it's hard at times, especially for those of us that are a little bit older. Myself, I'm going to be 64. So, you know, sometimes the things I hear are like, what? You want to study to make cartoons? Right? How is that field? And they'll be like, oh, I did lots of research, and I could get into this and this. And I'm like, amazing. Thank you for teaching me. Because we all need to teach each other, right? We need to learn from the up and coming generations. We need to learn from the older generations. But the important thing is we have to have our mind open to be willing to learn new ways and new methods of making sure that our students are supported and enriched and encouraged to continue, right? Our counseling and accessibility offices have to make sure that people feel welcome. Our areas of student conduct, where they don't want to go to when they do something that they shouldn't do, has to know about compassion and guidance, because we are dealing with younger minds most of the time, minds that are still developing. And people never want to make mistakes. People never want to be in positions where it's hardship. But sometimes we find ourselves in those positions, and our students do. And so I would just encourage you to keep going, keep doing the good work that you're doing, keep learning from each other, keep showing that compassion that you wanted to have this position. You fought, you worked towards being in the spaces that you're in right now. Don't let Don't become stagnant, right? Be willing to open your mind and to keep moving forward, to finding what is your passion. Because our journeys are never straight and just in one direction. They twist and they turn, and sometimes we may think that this is the profession we want it and we've been doing it for 10 years. But if you lose your fire, if you lose your compassion, if you lose your kindness, we're not serving anybody, not ourselves, nor those that we're supposed to be servicing and taking care of. So I really wanted to share this message with you today that we're moving in this beautiful space of being virtual and in person, these hybrid flex programs. And it's all been a learning experience for all of us, but we're starting to come back together. And a lot of us are missing that interaction that we had before the pandemic. A lot of faces and spaces have changed in our institutions, and we may not know everybody, but take the time to learn who you're working with. Learn who is a support for you, because you, like the students, need supports. We all need to make sure that our well-being is taken care of, that we have the availability to show up each and every day, to do the work that's needed, to keep those young minds moving through these post-secondary institutions so that we can retire in comfort one day, right? We know that those coming behind us are going to be competent and experienced and knowledgeable because we've invested in them. And so as we keep investing, our future always should be looking better. And if we're not sure about our future, we need to look at ourselves and say, what am I doing to make sure that my future will be better by encouraging and supporting the younger ones that are going through the institutions that we've been through, right? And that we're still passionate about our work. Yes, it doesn't mean we're going to be all happy each and every day when we get overloaded with information, but we don't take that out on our students. We don't let them see our frustration, because then they get discouraged, right? And to always treat them with respect, even though they're younger and they will make mistakes and they will give you every excuse in the world of why they didn't do something, right? Have that kindness and that compassion to listen to them, and say, well, what happened? If you weren't being very successful, what happened? How can I support you? What can I direct you to receive the supports that you need so that we can make you successful through this program? And then hopefully you'll want to continue on, and you're not just going to stop at one place, that you're going to be hungry for that knowledge of wanting to take our positions, of wanting to be able to allow us to retire and then to have them move into the positions that we hold. Some of us, I know, we think we can work forever. I think I can work forever, that's for sure. Sometimes my spirit, my body doesn't allow that to happen because I am aging. And so I have to make sure I share what I know. And I have to make sure that I give to somebody else what has so graciously been given to me. And those are those gifts of knowledge and ways of navigating this world, because it's always changing. And so the more we teach each other and share with each other, the more successful our next generation will be. And so when you do get discouraged, I'm going to give you some indigenous wisdom that has worked since the beginning of time, that we think that everything is valuable in life. So every part of creation is valuable, right? Everything that is alive has spirit. And so I remember my grandmother giving me two good directions. One was, if not you, then who? Do you want to leave it up to somebody else to help shape the future of those students? And the second one is, go and lean up against one of those big grandmother or grandfather trees. They've been here for more than 100 years. They are deeply rooted in our mother, the earth. They will take our frustrations, our anger, our disappointment, our stresses, deep down into our first mother, our very first mother that takes care of all of us through creation. And then they will send us up that healing and that comfort that we look for as well, so we can continue in a good way. So leave you with those two ways of looking at things. If not you, then who? Who's going to do this work, right? Do you feel comfortable giving it to somebody else? And if you do, that's a good thing. That means that we've been doing this work. But if you don't, that means we each got to keep working. We each got to keep learning so that we can make sure that those generations coming behind us end up being our leaders, and we can rest, and then we can take our time to enjoy the rest of life. And that tree will help you. It gives us that oxygen, that breath of life that we all need. And so when you feel stressed, go to the land. The land has taken care of us since the beginning of time. The land gives us everything we need, but we as human beings have to acknowledge it. And we acknowledge the territories that we're in. I'm coming to you from Treaty 13. The current territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, the Haudenosaunee, and the Huron-Wendat people. So for each of us to be grateful that we're in a space that land has been taken care of by those generations that have came before, to make sure that we can live here, and then that we can grow our families and our friends and our communities, and now work in spaces where we can develop brilliant minds and be those supports. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of the winners of these awards that are coming up, but not only the winners, but those that supported them, those that had to look at all the names and try and, narrow that down for only so many awards to be given. If your name isn't called tonight, don't be sad. Don't be disappointed. Because if you keep working hard and you keep doing the work that you volunteered to do and you studied to do and you have been doing, then maybe next year your name will be one of the ones that is called. We don't do things to get something out of it. We do things to give, to be that giver, right? We don't always have to look for what are we getting. That's not reciprocity. And if you give everything you can to your student, the reciprocity will be that they learn and they will come back and thank you at some point because you have helped shape their journey. So let's not interfere with anybody's canoe journey. We can all get in our canoes and sail down the same river together, go in the same direction, but we don't need to interfere with each other in the way of thinking that our way is better than somebody else's. Have open minds, open hearts, and open ears to hear what they're trying to teach us. And we in turn then can use our minds and our voices to help guide them. So I want to thank you, and thank you for this opportunity. It's been a really busy day for me today, and I'm going on to get some dinner because I've been doing this now since 8 o'clock this morning, working with many spaces and places of people. So thank you again to CACUSS for inviting me and to share this information with you and to give you this encouragement and this support for all the beautiful work you have been doing, and keep doing it. You are making a difference. Chimigwich, hi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elder Blue. That was so beautiful. I don't know how you can drop so many nuggets of wisdom in about 10 minutes of time, because I was trying to keep track of what I wanted to share, and there were just so many. But I really loved, the reminder of why we're doing the work and centering the student experience. A lot of us in roles that weren't around 10, 20 years ago even, and really trying to support students the best that we can. I love the reminder of building connection on our own campuses. Folks who know me know even if I just have virtual meetings, I'm still on campus. I love running into people on my way to get coffee and knowing who my allies are in different spaces and building that relationship. I love the reminder of if not you, then who, and also the connecting with trees. Really important grounding piece for me, I know, when I'm out on my hikes. So thank you for your time after what sounds like a very full day, Elder Blue. Really appreciate you sharing your time and your wisdom with us for the CACUSS Awards tonight. All right. So I would like to pass things over now to Patty Hambler, our current CACUSS president, to share a few words. Over to you.
Thank you, Will, and thank you very much, Elder Blue Waters, for sharing. I really appreciated your words, and please enjoy your dinner. I just want to say good afternoon to all my colleagues in BC and Alberta, and good evening to all the colleagues who are west or east of that. And I'm joining today from the traditional unceded and ancestral territories of the Coast Salish peoples. I want to thank all of you for joining us for the event today. It's great to see so many familiar as well as new names on the call. And I'm just gonna nudge you all if you feel comfortable turning your camera on. I think that all of our award winners and nominators and event organizers would love to see your faces, even if just for a couple of minutes. So if you feel comfortable doing that, please do. It's my privilege and pleasure to join you in celebrating our colleagues. We gather in this way each year to recognize the achievements and dedication of our student affairs professionals who are really excelling in their efforts to enhance student success, to foster inclusivity, and to drive innovation on our campuses from coast to coast to coast. I'm excited to share that we received over 19 nominations for awards this year, which was double the amount that we received last year. And I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone who took the time to write letters of support and nominate their colleagues. So it's really important work, and your efforts are instrumental in showcasing the excellence within our community and helping us to recognize the accomplishment of all of these folks who inspire us. We're here to recognize the individuals as well as the programs that are making a profound and positive impact on student life on our campuses. So looking at creative initiatives, exemplary leadership, and innovative work being done across our campuses. And I just want to acknowledge and I think maybe echo a little bit of what our elder has shared with us. None of us are doing this work for the sake of accolades. And I know that deep inside because I know the amazing colleagues that I work with and have worked with across many campuses and in CACUSS. But at the same time, I do think that recognition is important to highlight the outstanding efforts of those who go above and beyond for our students. And my hope is that through this recognition, we can inspire others and also foster a sense of community within our CACUSS network. Each time that we celebrate the achievements of award winners, I know I'm reminded that our collective efforts are what make our colleges, universities, and institutes vibrant and inclusive communities where all of our students can thrive. So I just want to thank you. I hope you enjoy the ceremony. And I also put in a plug that I hope to see you all at the CACUSS AGM in May. It'd be great if you could make it out. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for the wonderful welcome, Patty. And a good timely call for the AGM for sure. I'm going to launch our second poll of the night, a quick check-in, and I'll give folks maybe just 10, 15 seconds. You should see the poll up on your screen now. In one word, how are you doing today? How was the day? It is Thursday, term's ending, but I know we all have like really different waves of when we're busy. I know some people might be in a new wave. I always find this time of year very interesting. It's the unintentional gaslighting from family who say, oh, you like summer's off for you, right? But I know some of us, things really pick up at this time. So how are you doing? One day to the weekend. I'll give folks maybe 5 more seconds to get that word in. All right. And so you can see some results of how folks are doing, hopefully, on your screens. Thanks so much for taking part. We will have a few more polls throughout the evening as well, in addition to the quiz questions about our winners. So I'll stop sharing that, and I'm going to get to our very first award presentation. So the first award of the night is the Leaders in Learning Award. This award recognizes an outstanding individual contribution to professional development activities, things like publications, contributions to knowledge creation and dissemination, online courses and webinars, conference presentation, workshops. It also recognizes outstanding service and leadership to CACUSS and or community of practice as a chair or participant in a community or committee. I'm really excited to announce that the recipient of this award is Jason Laker. Jason works at San Jose State University, where he's a professor of higher education in student affairs and community development. He's the chair of the Department of Counselor Education as well. Jason is an accomplished scholar, student affairs professional, speaker, consultant, and author. He's very involved with CACUSS communities of practice. And I personally was the one who nominated Jason, so I was very excited to see that he was the winner. He's been such a wonderful mentor for me. Even though we live very far apart, I'm over in Hamilton and Jason's actually over in California. We got to meet at our first CACUSS conference last year, in real life for the very first time, but we've managed to create a great relationship through the distance, thanks to Jason's great efforts in really supporting my professional growth and learning, which is exactly why I wanted to nominate him, and as well as much, much more that he does. So that brings us to our first trivia question of the night before I turn it over to you, Jason. Jason is an active member of CACUSS Communities of Practice, including Research, Assessment, and Evaluation Community of Practice, the Sexual Violence Prevention and Response Community of Practice, and the Internationalization in Student Affairs Community of Practice. Which one does he currently co-chair? Research Assessment and Evaluation, Sexual Violence Prevention and Response, or Internationalization in Student Affairs? You can answer in the chat, so I'm just going to make sure I open that up to make sure. All right, and we've already got an answer, I think, from Rachel, which is great. Research assessment and evaluation is correct. So I'm sure we'll take note of that. Congratulations on the first correct answer. And I'm going to turn it over to you to give us a few words, Jason.
Thank you very much. Will, I appreciate your kind words. Surprising words. I didn't realize that I had that impact, and it's a bit overwhelming to learn that. I mean, I knew you had favorable thoughts toward me. You've been kind that way, but to learn the depth of it is really powerful, and I appreciate it very much. And it's certainly been my pleasure to get to know you and work with you. And of course, I knew that about the nomination you were kind enough to mention. I didn't know until recently that I had won. And then quite a nice physical object arrived yesterday. Not every association does that with their awards, but so I was like, what is this? Like, you didn't play CACUSS, like it's real. It's the nice, heavy, beautiful award, and I greatly appreciate it. And when I saw the list of nominees, which I didn't know before, I was like, well, why did I win this? Because look at these really impressive nominees, individuals, and projects that were nominated. And so I also want to thank the rest of the nominees because, you're doing amazing work. And, we're so busy with the work we do, we don't always take the time to really think about that. But looking that I've been placed in the list that I just saw, I just really appreciate that. And finally, I just want to say that, I'm not from Canada originally. And what happened was I was the AVP and Dean of Student Affairs at Queen's from 2006 to 2010 and on the faculty of Gender and Women's Studies there. And during that time, being in a senior student affairs role in Canada and being really, it's important to become multiculturally skilled and knowledgeable about your context and the people you're working with and for. So I became involved and really just found it such a very collegial and friendly and welcoming group that I remained involved even when I left and became the vice president for student affairs here. And then, of course, now faculty and department chair. So being a professor, we're given to professing. So I know that we have limited time, and I appreciate being able to go first because I'm actually teaching. I have to go teach a class soon. But to everybody, it's been really wonderful staying involved in CACUSS this whole time. And I have just completed, or I am completing, my co-chairship of RAE, and actually will be stepping into your big shoes or shoe prints, whatever, because I'll be co-chair of the Sexual Violence Prevention and Response Community of Practice, and that's the focus of my research. So I'm also looking forward to doing a lot of scholar practitioner collaborations with the rest of you. Thanks for indulging it. Thank you so much for this kind award, and I look forward to continuing to be in community with everybody at the conference and in our various activities. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jason. It was really cool to see the award on Instagram. It does look very beautiful. And if it helps, I can leave behind my drag shoe heels for you to step into. I think you could do really well with that.
Well, I'd be on fleek for sure. Yeah.
And I think it speaks so much to how amazing the community of CACUSS is, that someone who's over in California still is so actively engaged because of the community that we're able to build here. So thanks to everyone at CACUSS for building that community, and congratulations again to Jason. So our next award that we will be presenting is the Award of Excellence in Student Affairs. And this award is presented to an individual in recognition of leadership within their role in student affairs, including on campus where they work or in their field at large. They've actively participated in the field for over a decade and have made significant achievements and contributions to the development and promotion of student affairs and services. This year's Award of Excellence in Student Affairs goes to Meg Bowman. Before sharing a bit about Meg, we have our next trivia question. So for those who know Meg or are quick Googlers, what is Meg's current role at Conestoga College? And you can answer again in the chat. What is Meg's current role at Conestoga College? Give it a few more seconds. Even if you don't know Meg, you can do some quick Googling. Manager of Learning Services. Nice job. Nice job to Katie. We'll record that for our something fun and cool, says Laura. Yes, so I'm going to read a bit about Meg while she's on screen. It's always very fun to have people read out about you while you're there and everyone's looking. So Meg, for over 15 years, has been committed to student success, innovative leadership, and tireless dedication to fostering a positive learning environment. She initiated a networking group of Learning Center administrators across Ontario colleges, leading to the formalization of a working group under College Libraries Ontario. Additionally, Meg provided essential support for the development of a province-wide best practice guide addressing barriers to student success during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you so much, Meg, for being here, and congratulations. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Will. And that introduction is a little surprising to me, but thank you. It is odd hearing things read out about yourself. I just wanted to say I am humbled and honored to be selected of this award. I owe a big word of thanks to my current director and colleagues who wrote me letters of support. Also, I got to learn that they are all very good at keeping secrets, as I had no idea that I was nominated. So receiving the email noting I was the recipient was quite shocking and again, humbling. Also acknowledging across the board, as Elder Blue had noted, that there are many people in this room who would be deserving of these awards. And so just acknowledging all those that were nominated and those that weren't, because we know how that goes in terms of everyone could use that acknowledgement. I'm grateful for all the opportunities across my career working at the University of Waterloo and now Conestoga College thus far. And obviously, there's nothing that I could have done without being surrounded by amazing people to collaborate with, both team members within my institutions and other colleagues across the country. I have been very appreciative to be a longstanding member of CACUSS and being given that opportunity by the institutions that I've worked for. It's incredible work that the association does to connect us across the country so that we can actually learn from each other and develop things together and ultimately work towards supporting students, as we are all passionate about doing. So thank you again for this honor. Unfortunately, I am not able to stay either due to prior commitments, and appreciate the accommodation so that I could be here and receive the acknowledgement and see many familiar faces. So I hope you all have a good evening, and thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Meg. Thanks for being here in the midst of what sounds like a busy day for you. And congratulations again on all of the work that you've done. And congratulations to your team on keeping it a secret for so long. That's impressive. I love that. All right. So our next award that we'll be presenting tonight is the Excellence in Inclusion Award. This year, we have 2 outstanding recipients for the award. The Excellence in Inclusion Award honors members who demonstrate a deep and sustained commitment to advancing equity, diversity, and inclusion throughout their career, and recognizes outstanding members who use their voice to make their campus, caucus, and the field of student affairs more just, equitable, and inclusive. The first recipient is Amy Yon, Associate Vice President of students at Lakehead University. Amy led the development of the multi-year accessibility plan. In addition to Amy's strong advocacy for students with disabilities, she demonstrates a passion and commitment towards truth and reconciliation. In collaboration with Indigenous initiatives and the Teaching Commons, Amy's championed offering a 4-part pulling together workshop to provide all unit staff with a baseline understanding in learning truth to support our move toward reconciliation. So our trivia question for Amy is, when was Amy the chair of Lakehead University's Accessibility Committee? And you have 3 options. Option A, 2017 to 2020, option B, 2019 to 2022, or option C, 2018 to 2021. When was Amy the chair of Lakehead University's Accessibility Committee? C is not correct, Laura. A is not correct. Who's gonna get it? B, Tyron. Great job. Process of elimination. I will turn it over to you, Amy, to speak for a couple of minutes.
Thank you so much for those kind words. And I didn't know the answer to that. So well done, Tyron. I'm honored to be here today, and full disclosure, I'm also struggling to accept this, recognizing it's really a result of the efforts of the incredible people that I work with. And I want to first acknowledge that I am a white settler whose feet are currently planted on the traditional territory of Fort William First Nation, who were signatories to the Robinson Superior of 1850. I'm sharing this to recognize the history that Fort William First Nation holds, to acknowledge the injustices that they have and continue to experience, to celebrate their strength and resilience, and to share my gratitude to be able to enjoy the beauty of the shores of Gitche Gumee every day. I'm also really grateful for the relationships that I've been blessed with, and the support and collaboration I experience along my path in, my place of work, the community where I live, and, the community of CACUSS. I work with and interact with so many amazing people who are dedicated to sharing their ways of knowing, their experiences, their truth, to advancing truth and reconciliation, to creating inclusive and accessible communities, to holding each other accountable, and to navigating difficult conversations together, and to owning our collective responsibility to do things in a good way. This award for me truly is about the work that we do together. It's about Mina Madiswin, the good life, where we want to honor one another, past, present, and future, and where we honor all things around us that give us life. So, merci beaucoup, Chimigwech, for having me here today.
Thanks so much, Amy. What a beautiful speech you've shared with us, and a great reminder of the collaborative nature of all the work that we do. I also think the fact that you didn't know the answer to the question speaks to probably just how many different committees you're on and you chair and you're part of. So thank you for all the other work that you do on your campus, and for everything that's been acknowledged. I'd like to talk about our second recipient for the Excellence in Inclusion Award, which is Jazz Fitzgerald, Manager of Student Equity and Community at the University of Waterloo. Jazz has demonstrated an unwavering personal and professional commitment to breaking down barriers, promoting inclusion, and centering and celebrating the voices of people from equity-deserving communities, whether they are staff, students, faculty, or members of the wider community. Some of their achievements include securing a $340,000 grant from the Ministry of Colleges and Universities to build a peer program that supports underrepresented students during their transition to UWaterloo, active membership on the Menstrual Equity Committee, and Waterloo at the Intersections, an initiative focused on raising and centering the voices of equity-deserving students through live performances. So our next trivia question before I hand it over to you, Jazz, is Jazz created the first LGBTQ+ interfaith discussion group that grew to become the planning committee for what conference? So let's see. I feel like this is a tricky one. You really got to know your stuff or be keeping up with everything going on. I'm going to open the chat here. Yes, you are welcome here. Zachary got our answer. Very nicely done. And it's in all caps. I love the excitement that I'm seeing through the chat box. All right, over to you, Jazz.
Thanks so much, Will. It's my brother, so of course he he should know. I ended up writing down some words as to make sure we have room for all folks here to take part. But yeah, I just first and foremost I want to thank my colleague Angela Rook, who's I think is on the call right now, for nominating me for this award and for the support from Pam Charbonneau, Heather Westmoreland, Sasha Gear, and Ashley McKnight, who wrote support letters and got together and really put the work forward that you sometimes forget all the different things that you take part in, and so it's really an honor to be here. And I truly have never worked in a space where I felt more supported. I feel really honored to be recognized in this way. In reflecting on the journey to tonight, I found myself oscillating between joy and grief. Joy that I get to do this work with the people that I love, and grief that I had to leave my home in the US where this work began. The story is too long to get into tonight, but I want to speak directly to any folks on this call who may be wondering if it'll ever be their turn to see their dreams realized, to experience thriving instead of simply trying to survive. I have this chalkboard right here behind me at my computer with words that I wrote back in 2017 when I didn't know what my future held or if there would actually be a future for me. I wrote, "There is so much good ahead, and you have something to offer the world. Each of us has something to offer this world. And in the work of inclusivity, of equity, of liberation, when we step into our offering, we are joining the many before us, the many with us, and the many after us. We are not alone. You are not alone. We belong to each other." Thank you.
Thank you so much for that beautiful reflection and those beautiful words, and to all the support coming through in the chat function. It's so lovely to see such a wonderful network of support. Thank you all so much, and congratulations, Jazz, on your award. All right, so I'm just going to find my spot here. All right, so we have one more award before we take a short break, and that is the presentation of the Student Leadership Award. This award celebrates significant accomplishments to a campus community and encourages student leaders to consider student affairs as a career option beyond graduation. The recipient of the 2024 Student Leadership Award goes to Emily Dobrich, PhD candidate, Adult Education and Community Development Program over at OISE. Emily is highly engaged with the University of Toronto and the higher education field more broadly. She is a graduate student member of the OISE Council and the Ontario representative of the Canadian Association for the Study of Adult Education. So Emily's trivia question, before I turn it over to you, Emily, is what is the name of the University of Toronto program that Emily has led approximately 525 sessions for, over 1,000 hours collectively? Another one where I think it's going to be someone who knows it, or someone with really fast Googling skills, really fast fingers. So again, what is the name of the University of Toronto program that Emily has led approximately 525 sessions over 1,000 hours for? Yes, Megan in the chat got it correct. It is Study Hubs. Nice job, Megan. And I will turn it over to you, Emily.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And wow, first thing I'd like to say is how grateful I am to be here and to CACUSS for this honor. It truly is humbling and surprising as well. I'd also really like to thank my nominator, Jonathan Vandor, who I've worked with for the last 3 years in Study Hubs with. He's been amazing and really been an inspiring leader that I really look up to and appreciate. I'd also really like to thank my supervisor, Dr. Jennifer Wemigwans. Both Jonathan and Dr. Wemigwans have really inspired me and taught me a lot about the difference that creating a caring community, a supportive learning environment makes to students. And that's really been motivating behind my passion, desire to get involved and contribute and create these spaces that support student success. So thank you all so much, and we wish.
Thanks so much. And before we go for our break, I'm going to launch one more poll. And I know some folks have told me with the short answer polls that they can't always see the the results, they're only seeing their own, but this one is a multi-select choice, so it should be hopefully visible for everyone. And the question is, are you multitasking right now? I know sometimes I need to, if I'm paying attention on a longer call, I might be cleaning the kitchen or something in the meantime. All right, I'll give another couple seconds, and I don't know who's laughing, but I hear someone laughing. So thank you for appreciating that question. And we're going to hopefully share the results, and you can see them. 53% of people are totally focused. Emily, it must be the amazing speech you gave. And to all of our winners so far, the amazing speeches, perhaps a great host. I don't know. I think it's a joint effort that we're all here to pay attention and celebrate. A couple folks openly admitting that they're guilty as charged and a little maybe multitasking, maybe Outlook on the side. But with that done, I'm going to stop sharing those results. And I'm going to give us a short break for about 10 minutes. So we'll start back up at 7 p.m. Eastern time, or 10 minutes time, wherever it is that you are. Over the break, don't forget to add your messages to the Padlet Wall of Fame. We still have four award categories left. So we'd love for you to join us again after this short break to continue the celebrations. And congratulations to all the winners so far. All right, we'll see you all in 10 minutes. And would like to from the break, feel free to head on over to your computer. I am so happy that we shared that question, because a friend who shall remain nameless at another institution, when we asked if you were multitasking, shared with me in the direct messages that they were currently assembling IKEA furniture and felt a little bit called out. But I know that when I'm on a long call, sometimes it's helpful to have something to do with my hands to actually pay better attention. Because if you do Outlook on your second screen, you can't pay attention to both of those things very well. All right, so hopefully my quick little riff there allowed folks to get back to their computers in time to complete our last few awards. Really excited to welcome everyone back. Our next award actually has 3 amazing recipients, which just really tells you how amazing all of the nominees were. So this is the New and Emerging Professionals Award, which recognizes leadership, growth, and outstanding potential of a professional working in any area of student affairs and services for 5 years or less, and demonstrates significant growth in the CACUSS student affairs and services competencies. The first 3 of the 3 recipients is Smyrna Wright. Smyrna is the Community Engagement Coordinator, Access and Inclusion at the University of Toronto, Mississauga, who is responsible for the coordination of programs and underrepresented students. Through her work, she strives to make University of Toronto, Mississauga an inclusive campus that allows for belonging and thriving for Black, Indigenous, and equity-deserving populations. And I'm already seeing a lot of great comments in the chat box. So our next trivia question is, what is one of the programs that Smyrna is responsible for coordinating? And there are 3 possible answers to this question. So this one's maybe a little bit easier for those who might know her or work with her. And I'm going to open up my chat function. If I can. For some reason it's not popping up for me. Here we go. There we go. All right. So what is one of the 3? Do we have any answers? I don't think so. What is one of the 3 programs that Smyrna is responsible for coordinating? And if you're not exactly right, we might still give it to you, or time for a quick Google, or even someone's LinkedIn page. Maybe it's up on there. SIP. I don't know. I don't know if that's one of them. It's not one of the ones that I have, but a valiant effort, Allison. Thank you so much. Any other Black Excellence Orientation is definitely one of them. Nice job. And I think you beat out Tyron by just a couple of seconds with the UTM Bridging Mentorship Program. So Ruth, congratulations on getting that one. That's great. And I'm going to turn it over to you for your acceptance speech, Smyrna.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to kind of be in this space with you all today. And I'm kind of really excited. I think I've been in this field for a little bit over a year and a half now. And I think coming in to this role, I had major imposter syndrome. I come from a community nonprofit organization background. I worked in mental health and violence prevention. And so it was like new terrain and new territory for me. And I always kind of felt like, am I doing the right thing or what is really going on? Some of the language was different, the experience was different, and I was immersed with people who had like 13, 15, 10 years experience in their jobs and all came from different parts of higher ed and bounced from different locations and so on and so forth. So at times I felt really, really inadequate. And so I just wanted to thank my nominees, my boss, Sean Park, Jessica Silver, Alicia Ferguson, and Kwame Diko, who was a supporter, for seeing in me what I didn't before I could actually actualize it for myself and seeing it now, and for investing in me and choosing me and supporting my growth and professional development and just kind of taking the ride with me while I embark on this new journey of my career. So yeah, and I just wanted to thank you all for sharing this space with me and celebrating with me because it's an exciting milestone and I'm so happy and grateful for the opportunity to share that with you all. So yeah.
Thanks for your beautiful words and congratulations again on the award. So wonderful. And it's funny because there's so many people, of course, on the call and some of our recipients tonight who I don't know, have never met, but just hearing about some of the relationships and the way that everyone's supporting each other at different institutions, in different roles, different offices, is really heartwarming. So I'm really honored to be able to witness and hear a little bit about the way that folks are supporting each other. And one of those ways, of course, is through nominating their colleagues for this award. So congratulations again, Smyrna. All right, so on to our second recipient of the award, and that is Victoria Williams. Victoria is recognized as a leader who exhibits an exceptional level of proficiency in CACUSS competencies. Her leadership in developing a trauma-informed programming guide for student services staff, initiating the Integrated Campus Wellness Committee, and her transformative work in making the Northeastern University Vancouver Career Fair an accessible and equitable event exemplify her initiative, commitment, and dedication to fostering a sense of belonging on campus. Mouthful of sentence there with all the stuff you're doing, Victoria. That's so awesome to hear. So our next trivia question is, prior to student affairs, what career did Victoria transition from? So maybe a quick LinkedIn, Google search. Was it A, public health promotions, B, sport agent, C, sales and marketing, or D, social justice advocacy? I'm going to open up chat here. Allison got it correct. It's C. Very nice. All right. Thank you for playing along with our trivia, and I'll turn it over to you, Victoria.
Yeah, thank you, Will. And thank you so much to CACUSS for this award. Congratulations and thank you to all my fellow nominees and the inspired work you do. I want to take a moment to express gratitude for my colleagues, those who I see in the chat here supporting me today, also those who nominated me, Danuka Gunaratne, who is kind of at the helm of that, and has been this really voracious advocate of my work since the first moment we met. When I reflect upon this kind of somewhat recent entry into the field of student affairs, I really need to thank my previous supervisor from my time at BCIT Student Association, Danielle Landetta-Gauthier, not here today, but she was the wellness and advocacy manager at the time, and she went out on a limb and gave me the chance to prove myself. Despite a lack of experience working in higher ed, not everyone has the privilege of being given this type of entry point. And so I'm really grateful that someone saw passion and potential in me and was willing to provide me that mentorship I needed. What brought me to this work was a passion for community health and well-being. I was drawn to this unique role that higher education plays as agents of change. So whether that's through improving health outcomes, driving social change, equity, it's an exciting place to be in. And so I really hope that I can continue to foster this uniqueness as a bit of a beacon to uplift the well-being of people and communities, while also acknowledging and actively dismantling the systemic barriers and inequities that persist within the post-secondary landscape. Sustainable community well-being requires a whole campus approach, and so collaboration is the only way forward, a theme I've seen reiterated throughout this evening. I'm really fortunate to have worked and continue to work alongside staunch supporters of student well-being who see the value and importance of embedding wellness inside and outside of the classroom. And so without their support and buy-in, I would not be empowered to do the work that I do. So thank you again for this award. Looking forward to connecting with many of you who I've not had the privilege to meet yet.
Thanks so much, and congratulations, Victoria. All right, so on to our third recipient of the New and Professionals Award, which is Tyron Thomas. Tyron is known for his ability to identify the areas and gaps that need further development and growth, and is efficient in arranging resources to address these gaps. He's a strong advocate for creating and nurturing psychologically safe learning and work environments at the University of Calgary. Tyron's led several capacity building initiatives to ensure that staff are responsive to the changing needs of students. He's quite active in various associations and working groups, which leads us to our next trivia question. So outside of his immediate role, Tyron just completed his 13-month term as the president of which professional association? We'll give folks, so which professional association did he just complete his 13-month term as president? RLPA, that is correct, Alana, the Residence Life Professional Association. Nice job. And I will turn it over to you, Tyron.
Thank you so much, Will. It is very awkward to hear positive words about yourself, but I appreciate them nonetheless. I think I've been very privileged over the past 3 or so years that I've been working here as a Residence Life coordinator at the University of Calgary. Had many opportunities to engage with the profession, both specifically within residence life, but also broader student affairs. I've learned so much from so many different professionals, as well as the student staff and the students that I've interacted with in various capacities. I do want to give a massive thank you to a few individuals that have helped me along my journey. Adil Arshad from University of Calgary, Matthew Metcalf from McMaster University, Megan Reiser from the College of the Rockies, Tim Siemens from Red Deer Polytechnic, Nathan Riley from Simon Fraser University, Laura Coriel from the University of Lethbridge, Dave Craig from Oregon State University, and Ian Miller from Central Washington University. I do want to thank CACUSS for this recognition and everyone on this call for the work that you are doing for students. I was someone in my first year of university that without the student experience and student support, I don't think I would have completed my degree. I don't think I would have made it past reading week in my first semester of my first year. So the work that we are doing is very, very powerful. And I hope that we can continue to work together to uplift others in the field, because it is a very hard job. As all of us know, it's a hard field to be in, but I do think it is a lot easier and comfortable when we are in community together. So thank you for all the work that you are all doing. Thank you so much.
Love to hear all of the connections you have as well across institutions, which I know so many people have. And it just speaks to, yeah, that sense of camaraderie and solidarity in this work. And so really appreciate hearing that reflection. Congratulations again, Tyron. All right, so on to our next award, which is the Innovation Award, which also has 3 recipients. So this award recognizes a new or innovative program or service on a campus that's been developed with participation or leadership by a CACUSS member institution or individual. The program or service exemplifies innovation and excellence and can serve as a model or example of promising practice for other CACUSS member institutions. So the first of 3 recipients is the University of British Columbia's Roots program. Roots is a hybrid social well-being and academic program that engages and supports the success of new students in UBC's Faculty of Land and Food Systems, which is a really cool faculty. We don't have that. This program creates a foundation of connection for students to start building relationships with each other, faculty, and the UBC community shortly after students have accepted their offer of admission. This is an earlier opportunity for community building and support than is typically experienced by new students. So our trivia question is, what does ROOTS stand for? And I'll give you a hint, it's ROOTSS. What does ROOTS stand for? And Benita confirming my suspicions that it is indeed a cool faculty. Thank you. All right, what does it stand for? And we're gonna have someone who's not part of the team answer. This is a chance for the Googlers, UBC Roots. And Benita's cool too, says Laura. It's just a chain of really cool things and cool people. I love it. Reach out, orientation, transition, and study skills. Nice job, Jennifer. All right, so with that, I will turn it over to Christine to speak on behalf of the Roots team.
Well, thank you so much, Will, and thank you so much to CACUSS for this incredible honor. We're very, very excited to be here to accept the Innovation Award for a program that we are so proud of. I have the privilege of being the director of the LFS Student Services team, and this award is not mine, it is all of ours. So you'll see on your screen, there are a couple people individually working from home today, as well as a number of people on campus through the UBC Faculty of Land and Food Systems stream there. Who are all celebrating together today. And I want to acknowledge every single member of the Student Services team. And maybe when I say your name, you could give a little shout out and wave. So the awesome Benita Perko, who came up earlier, one of our academic advisors, Ella Wong, an academic advisor, Clarissa Harjano, who is a student support specialist, Ira Fayez, who is also a student support specialist, Alison Mander Wyanzak, our career strategist, Bellini Layton, our student engagement advisor, Michelle Suderman, academic advisor, Jordan Skansen, academic advisor, and last but not least, Shannon Blakely, our transition and engagement advisor. I want to give a special shout out to Shannon, as Shannon does manage the Roots program for our entire team. Shannon takes a real lead in producing the Roots content and supporting all of us to stay on track, engaging over 90 current LFS students and providing peer mentorship and leadership opportunities and engagement with our newly incoming students. And we are very excited to announce that this year we are expanding Roots from a first-year transition program into an ongoing support program for continuing students as well. So we're really excited about where Roots has come and the incredible impact that it's had on the experiences of our students. So just want to say thank you very much and congratulations to every single member of the Student Services team. And a special shout out to our Dean, Ricky Yada, for his incredible support in helping to ensure that this program that started as a TLEF, or a Teaching Learning Enhancement Fund grant for 2 years as a pilot, has become a permanent fixture and a dedicated action plan goal of our faculty to keep this program going, knowing the impact that it's had on students. So just want to say thank you to them, everybody, and congratulations to the entire team. I'm so proud.
Thanks so much for your words, Christine, and for being here, and to the rest of the team as well on the call. Congratulations. And I'll echo what Rachel shared in the chat about just really loving the team awards. And as basically everyone has shared, so much of what we do is in collaboration and in support with other people on our campuses. So these kinds of team awards really speak to that. So it's wonderful to see it in action and to see the growth of a really wonderful program. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing at UBC. All right, on to our second recipient of the Innovation Award, and that is the Queen's University Shift Project. The Shift Project transcends typical programming. It's a movement that invites all members of the Queen's community to reflect on their roles in shaping campus culture. Grounded in data and student voices and invigorated by the collective action of community members, the Shift Project compels their community to evaluate and elevate their personal impact on campus dynamics. It's actively crafting a new, progressive model for student engagement, establishing itself as a standard for innovation in student services. So the next trivia question is, and again, it's a multiple choice option, so got a 25% chance if you're shooting in the dark. One of the initiatives of the Shift Project is the Shift Podcast, which is a platform for equity deserving and underrepresented students to tell their stories. What symbol is used for the logo of the podcast? maybe a chance to quickly look it up on your Spotify or online on their website. Is it A, a zigzag line, B, bridge, C, mask, or D, a gear stick? And Aubrey got the answer before I even put put that as an option. I think stick shift will be an acceptable answer. So great job on that, Aubrey. And I'm going to turn it over to Taryn and Jen to speak about the award.
Yeah, thanks so much, Will. It's an honor to be able to receive this award on behalf of the Queen's Shift Project, and for it to be recognized among so many other incredible programs and individuals this evening. Thanks to CACUSS for recognizing the value of this program and for hosting such engaging events like this ceremony and like the annual conference. I'm quite new to student affairs, and I've been so appreciative of the vast and supportive network of professionals that exists across this country and the opportunities to learn from and collaborate with one another. Receiving this award is particularly meaningful because to me, it recognizes that in order to create a culture shift on campus, we have to move beyond the status quo. Inclusion and belonging don't happen on their own. There has to be a concerted effort to center and listen to equity-deserving student experiences and have genuine and honest conversations. And we also know that we have to engage the dominant culture and break down barriers of misunderstanding and prejudice in ways that resonate with students in order to make this shift, after which the project is named, a reality. So I will share that if the Shift Project is inspiration to you, or your institution is looking to build a program similar, I will share that it is a collaboration with many. It needs to be in order to be sustainable and in order to have a meaningful and far-reaching impact, and that it has to be flexible and adaptable to student needs and experiences. Working on the Shift Project for me has been the most challenging but the most rewarding experiences, and has only seen any success because of the support we've had from campus partners and administration. And there's been a great deal of trust in allowing us to try new things. And it wouldn't be the program it is without these relationships. So thank you to our administration for their trust and support. And someone else mentioned this, but earlier, Elder Blue Waters mentioned that we need to honor and recognize those who contribute to this work. And for the Shift Project, that is many. So I want to shout out the first ever Shift Project student staff turned colleague, Aubrey Apps, who has left a lasting impact on this project when she graduated a year ago. And of course, most sincere thank you to my colleague and co-recipient of this award, Jen Ross, for her commitment to this initiative. But most of all, this award is a reflection of and belongs to students, primarily the equity-deserving students on our campus who drive this project and who work tirelessly to make Queens a more inclusive place for everyone. So thank you again so much to CACUSS on behalf of the Shift Project and Queens University for this recognition.
Jen, would you like to share a few words?
No, thanks, but thank you to CACUSS.
Okay. Congratulations to you both. And also, can I just express some love for this student staff turned colleague moment? It's a really wonderful thing for those who haven't experienced it, and I hope everyone gets to experience it, because when you have those all-star students and then they become staff and colleagues alongside you, it is so, so wonderful. So thanks so much for your wonderful words, Taryn, and congratulations to your whole team. All right, so our third recipient for the Innovation Award is the St. Lawrence College Surge Rewards Program. This program represents an innovative initiative in student engagement and recognition, diverging from conventional recognition methods, which typically prioritize academic accomplishments or leadership roles. Surge Rewards distinguishes itself by incentivizing and rewarding every student for their active involvement in co-curricular activities and campus events. The program aims to forge accessible and inclusive pathways for student engagement throughout their tenure at SLC. So the next trivia question is, one of the prizes for the Surge Rewards program is a plush toy of the St. Lawrence College mascot. What is the name of the mascot? Is it A, Surgister, B, Storm, C, Thunder, or D, Bluey? I'm going to open up our chat box here. That's not it, Michelle, but good guess. So A, Surgister, B, Storm. Ah, yes, Melissa got it. Very nice. So it is Storm. And I'm going to turn it over to Shelley to accept the award on behalf of the team.
Thank you, Will. And it is a real honor for me to accept this award on behalf of the team, and in particular, Jeremy Maston, who is our student transition first generation coordinator. And Jeremy is in fact not with us because he's on a very well-earned vacation before our spring orientation. We have a very busy group of students joining us in just one short week. So he is away on vacation, getting his rest before he welcomes our new students. And I also want to thank Ross McMillan, who is on the call, and he's actually with a group of students overseas in Costa Rica right now, but he's at least listening in for leading the nomination. And I also want to thank CACUSS for hosting this awards ceremony and for really creating the opportunity for us to just pause, especially at this time of the year, and to recognize such incredible work. I think we're also so pleased that this award is kind of a demonstration that innovation is happening in student affairs in the college sector. And we really use this program to sort of holistically grow our approach to student engagement at our college. And this holistic approach has really been all about using gamification to really provide levels of support that are equitable across all of our student groups, including our growing and emerging international student body, as well as all of our local and domestic students. So I think this program is a great example of how you can use technology to innovate and to build community that really is significant for our students. So, I think Jeremy is someone who's always thinking about how to integrate systems and opportunities at our college, and I'm really pleased to accept this award on his behalf. Thanks very much.
Thanks so much, Shelley. Congratulations to you and to the whole team at Surge Awards. So wonderful to hear about all of these really cool programs that folks are launching across the country. All right, so we have 2 more awards to present tonight. So we're coming close to the end of our time together. And the next award is the Graduate Student Research Award. So every year, we know that major papers, master's theses, and research projects contribute immensely to the student affairs profession and directly benefit students and professionals. The purpose of this award is to encourage and acknowledge practitioner scholars in student affairs. Additionally, the award recognizes exemplary work that demonstrates scholarly excellence, which makes a substantial contribution to knowledge in the field of student affairs in Canada. The recipient of this award is Alison DeCruz, a PhD student at OISE, specializing in education policy and international comparative education, and whose research centers immigrant students. Alison is an Open Education Fellow at the Open Education Group, where she studies ways to achieve social justice through the use of open education resources. She's been awarded the Diversity and Feminism Research Award for her work on immigrant students and the Aziz Premji Foundation Fellowship for her work on quality offered by private higher education institutions. So the next trivia question is, Alison has a master's degree in which of the following areas? Education and psychology, finance and business administration, or education and finance? It's not A, it is C. Very nice. Rachel and Laura both got the answer a few seconds apart. Congratulations. And I will turn it over to you, Alison.
Thank you so much, Will. So as an immigrant, you leave everything that you know and you're familiar with, and you pretty much start from scratch. It's not an easy task, and we as immigrants, we certainly do not succeed in a new country alone. I have found my university and post-secondary education to be my safe space here, where I can learn, create, and innovate, supported by a community that cares about me. And a lot of that has to do because of the work done by the Student Affairs and Services, the folks in this room. Being given this award is recognizing not just my work, but also all the immigrant students in post-secondary institutions, which is what my research is about. So I'm honored and I'm humbled to receive it. So thank you so much to CACUSS and to all the folks in Student Affairs and Services who tirelessly work to support us students. I want to especially mention my supervisors, Dr. Ruth Childs and Dr. Elizabeth Buckner, who've just been a pillar of support to me. And lastly, a big thank you to my parents and siblings, my sisters here. Shout out to her, Christabel. They've always been there for me, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without them. So thank you so much for this.
I love that. I'm loving all the family support here tonight, the colleague support. It's just so wonderful to see. Congratulations again, Allison, and thanks for all of the wonderful work that you're doing. This brings us actually to our final award of the night. And I know a few people, even some of our award recipients, had to leave, but it's really wonderful to see how many folks have stayed on the call to celebrate the achievements of so many of our colleagues across the country. So this is the Life Membership Award, which recognizes CACUSS members who've retired or are retiring from their position in student affairs in a post-secondary institution and who've made significant contributions to CACUSS and the field of student affairs. This award goes to Anna Pardo. Congratulations. And we'd like to invite Jennifer Hamilton, our CACUSS Executive Director, to share a few words about Anna. But before we do so, we're going to ask our final trivia question of the evening, which is, Anna has been very involved in CACUSS over the years and has held many different positions within the association. Can you name one of the 3 roles Anna has held within CACUSS? And president is one of them. Congratulations to Patty. I think Patty was first to get it. CACUSS president, the CADSPPE president, or director at large. So lots of amazing achievements. And I'd now like to invite Jennifer to share a few words about Anna.
So I have been executive director of CACUSS for 13 years, and I've never nominated anybody for an award before. But you introduced me as CACUSS executive director, but I would like to say that I have the privilege of being a friend of Anna Pardo, and maybe you remember Anna as Patricia Pardo or Dr. Pardo, or maybe you remember Anna as CACUSS. So I just want to say that, it's for those of you who haven't taken the opportunity to nominate someone that you care about, who's contributed something special to your life, it probably brings me more joy than it brings Anna for me to be here, and for her to receive this honor. The Life Membership Award is given to someone who's contributed significantly to CACUSS at a time where they have retired from their career in student services. And I think that word retire, for those of you who may be of a different generation than Anna and I, you think that like we're old, but in fact, Anna hasn't retired from anything. So I know that she has continued to contribute to the educational success of many, and will continue to contribute in so many ways and contribute to CACUSS. And in fact, we had virtual coffee this morning, and she's like, can you just get me involved in something? One of the things about Anna is, in addition to all the contributions that she's made to CACUSS, which are many, she spent her entire career as an active educator and champion for equity and inclusion. She embodies everything that a student affairs professional should have in terms of values, leadership, empathy, advocacy, positivity, learnedness, and most importantly, a wonderful sense of humor, which I think we need now more than ever. Anna was born to Mexican immigrants, and she likes to call herself a Mexican extrovert. I like to say I'm extrovert, and has received her PhD from the University of Calgary. She worked in various not-for-profit and government roles before finding the love of her life, who I also want to give a shout out to in this presentation, because I know they're somewhere in the background. Nick Demyachuk, if you've been to CACUSS in the last 10, 15 years, Nick has also been at CACUSS, and I'd like to give Nick an honorary CACUSS shout out. But also Nick is the love of her life, but also the field of student affairs. You will never find anyone who speaks as passionately about student affairs as Anna. And I would say if any of you or your colleagues are having a bad day and you need, an ear for someone to talk to, I'm sure Anna would appreciate you reaching out and connecting, and she will get you out of that funk in no time, and you will feel funky after in a good way. I had the pleasure of working with Pat as a board member in my first few years as executive director. And I have to say, in all of my time, and my current boss is on the phone, and I love Patty dearly, that I've never worked with a more thoroughly prepared and thoughtful director in my role as executive director. She was an excellent leader, both in advocating for CACUSS, but also supporting me personally in my role. She gave excellent feedback, was always more organized than I was, and was deeply caring about the people and success of CACUSS. I wanted to mention that in case anyone thinks that, oh, as executive director, I get to slip in award nominations. Not at all. The board wholeheartedly endorsed Anna's life membership. And I also had support from our colleagues, David Newman, the University of Toronto, Angie Clark at the Marine Institute, and testimonials from Tim Rowley, who's the president of Mount Royal University and was temporarily CACUSS president, as well as Mark Solomon, who was the most recent president before Patty. So Anna, I know we're going to keep in touch forever and ever, but this life membership just assures that that I have that officially if I never leave this role. But congratulations to you, and thank you for everything that you've contributed to the organization.
Muchas gracias. It just feels absolutely amazing. Really, there are no words that express how truly meaningful and how honored and humbled I am to receive the Lifetime Membership Award. CACUSS has been and always will be my professional home. Why? It's because who we are and how we do what we do and how we wrestle with all the things that we wrestle with, that makes a difference, that we make a difference, that there is impact. It's not easy. It's very, very challenging, perhaps even more so now than it was back in the day when I started and the earth was cooling. I have to say, wow to all of the nominees and award recipients. There is so much hope. This gathering gives me so much hope for the future, for the 7 generations that we are doing this work for. I'm inspired and motivated like the Borg. Resistance is futile. If you're Star Trek people, like CACUSS, I'm in until there is no breath left in my body. And that brings me joy, so much joy and so much gladness, so much happiness. I'm just truly honored. So I'm going to leave you with 3 words. Namaste.
Namaste. Thanks so much, Pat.
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to hear the amazing, just the amazingness of CACUSS and what it means to folks. And thank you so much for your words, and congratulations on a really incredible achievement tonight with the Life Award. So this is the end of our formal portion. We do have a little bit of networking if folks want to stay around, but I'd just like to say thank you to everyone. This was really heartwarming. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. It's my first time attending the CACUSS Awards, and something like a virtual award show like this. So I guess it was a bit bold to say yes to hosting, but it was so heartwarming. And just the comments in the chat, the fact that folks stuck around for over an hour and a half at this point to celebrate each other is so wonderful. A huge thank you to the 2024 Awards Committee. I'll let everyone take a look at some of the names listed there on the screen right now for all of your hard work since last fall, going through several nominations, deliberating, and planning this event. There was so much work done before I, parachuted it in with a bow tie on and just read you know, a script that was made for me. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes doing all of the work to make this event run so smoothly. So as I mentioned, our last segment for the evening is optional. We have 2 breakout rooms that have been created, and the awards recipients have been randomly placed into each of the rooms, and you can see which ones they're in right now. So feel free to join one of the breakout rooms. You should be able to self-select yourself into one of those breakout rooms to chat with the recipients, network with other guests. The rooms will be open until 8 p.m. Eastern time, so it's about 22 minutes from now for folks in different time zones. And you're welcome to move in and out of the breakout rooms. You should be able to do that again by yourself using the function on the bottom. If you need help with that, just let someone know. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Congratulations to all the recipients again, and thank you all so much for being here. Take care.
Yay.